Anyways, guys, this is going to be a really funky game, and if the Rams lose, there will be some things that'll happen. I don't know if any of them will be good, but not. Yeah, that's what's going to happen there. Anyways, though, college football games suck this week as well, but still going to be predicting them. Anyway, though, we got a lot of stuff to get into. Thursday night football prediction. Let's go. And with that, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Fun NFL. Please like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed the Week 5 Thursday Night Football preview. And again, as this game looks in terms of, record and on paper, it should be a pretty good game. But as you all know, there's definitely some underlying things or just absences that will be occurring in this game that should make this game a little bit more favorable for my Rams. Anyway, though, it again is this Thursday night game, second straight week with it being an NFC West battle. And these two teams, again, have not played. No, the Niners have played 2 games. They're 2-0 in the division. The Rams have not yet to play a division game yet. Both these teams are coming up pretty sketchy performances. The Jags obviously were able to get the best of the Niners in Brock Purdy's return, but again, he got injured. So, again, is it really that much of a return? But again, they lost the first game of the season last week. They fall to 3-1. They took advantage of a pretty nice 2 weeks against the Saints and the Saints and the Cardinals. After they had a nice win in Seattle in Week 1, but at the same time they're battered with injuries and they're not looking too hot right now. Rams on the other side, they're 3-1. They're a pretty decent team. Again, if it wasn't for their kicker getting blocked twice, they'd be undefeated right now, and they look really, really freaking good. They've obviously had issues. They're 4 of 12 on third down the past 2 games. They've had some red zone mishaps as well. But the matter of fact is, this is a team that had a very solid offensive performance last week, despite again the fact that they weren't able to get things going too consistently. Begin that 80-yard touchdown Tutu was the one that won it for them against a very solid Colts team. They now have another home game before. Again, they have a mini bye week and all that, but this is a huge game for the Rams in terms of again how their season can go. This game will be at 8:15 on Amazon Prime Video. There's again it's normal there. Again, Prime's had Thursday night for a couple of years now. Anyway, though, the Rams and Niners, again, the Niners for a while owned the Rams, again, with Sean McVay versus Kyle Shanahan in this rivalry. After Sean McVay won the first, 3 of the first 4 matchups, he didn't win one until just a couple of years ago in 2023, if I'm not mistaken. They swept them last year in Los Angeles. They won in a thriller, 27-24. The Rams were 0-2 at the time. They needed that game to again stay out of the 0-3 hole and probably even make the playoffs. Now that we look in the grand scheme of things, but that was a massive game last year. And they also played on Thursday Night Football in Week 15 last year. That game was awful. The Rams won that one 12-6. Now back onto this though. Announcing it will be Al Michaels, Kirk Herbstreit, and Kaylee Hartung. And then we look at the Niners lineup. They have Brock Purdy, again, not playing because he has out with that toe injury that, again, he re-aggravated. So Mac Jones, who, again, is healthy, will start this game. CMC hopefully has a better game than last week. Brian Robinson Jr. also there. Isaac Guerrero hopefully get a couple carries. Jordan James is also in the backfield. Juwan Jennings and Ricky Pearsall are both out for this game. So that means their starting receiving core in 2025 is Kendrick Bourne, former Ram, Demarcus Robinson. Again, he was down them last year. Sky Moore and MVS. And they're not going to be getting Jordan Watkins. Brandon Ayuk could be back in Week 6 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, not close. Never mind. He won't be back Week 6. But anyway, he's got a while to go. The Niners, are just the injuries are so bad this year. Jake Tanya's again starting tight end. Luke Farrell there as well. Any update on George Kittle? If we have something, considering again he got injured in Week 1. Nope, there's still no update on that. Again, now this is I think the last week or something like that. Kyle Juszczyk's the fullback. O-line wise, Connor Colby will be starting in with Ben Barch on IR. And even then, Spencer Burford on IR doesn't help them either. But Jake Brendel, Dominic Pooney, and Colin Mavakavitz are all starters. So, again, they don't really have much of an excuse. For this defense, Bryce Huff and Michael Williams off the edge. Bryce Huff needs to be their number 1 guy. It's pretty simple there. Your Turgos Montes has been pretty good this year, though. CJ West is questionable. Alfred Collins has struggled so far in his career. Khalil Davis and Jordan Elliott are defensive tackle. Again, we all know about Nick Bosa being on IR. Yeah, Alfred, bro, you got some work to do as well. For a 43rd pick was pretty high in my opinion. Whatever though. D. Winters, Luke Gifford are a linebacker. Obviously, Fred Warner is the best linebacker in football there as well. Secondary wise, Bernardo Green and Deommodore Lenoir are their starting boundary guys. They've been very good this season. Upton Stout has been a little bit shaky in nickelback. Jason Pinnock is starting free safety. Jared Brown got benched from Marco Segal, who actually has been very good as well this season. Malik Mustafa, when he is healthy again, is their starting free safety, though. Eddie Pinheiro, Thomas Morstead, kicker and punter. Sky Moore, Isaac Guerrero, kicker and punter. Punt returner, and kick returner. Then John Weeks is their long snapper. Moving over to the Rams. Matt Stafford, a quarterback, Kyron Williams, Blake Cormer in the backfield, Puka, Devontae Adams, Jordan Whittington, and Tutu Atwell, receiver. Conte Mumfield and Xavier Smith are also there. Tyler Higbee's doubtful for this game, so that means Davis Allen will be getting a lot of snaps. Hopefully, Terrence Ferguson will actually register something because, again, they're probably most talented tight end on this team. Offensive line is not completely healthy again with Alec Jackson, Steve Avila, Coleman Shelton, Kevin Dotson being good to go. Still haven't really had a great start there. Rob Havenstein, who's getting older and older, he's now 33, if I'm not mistaken now. Yeah, he's doubtful in this game. That probably would mean Warren McClendon Jr., who stepped in very nicely last time he came out. Again, we'll probably play at right tackle. Defensively, their D-line is as normal. Braden Fisk, Poona Ford, and Kobe Turner. Tyler Davis will get out there a lot as well. Byron Young, Jared Verse off the edge. Nick Hampton, Josiah Stewart are also there. Nate Lehman, Omar Spates are starting linebackers. You might see a little bit of Sean Dolak as well. Cornerback-wise, it's very susceptible. Again, with Emmanuel Forbes not really playing well at all the past 2 games. Kobe Durant, again, is their true real starter there. Again, even though he hasn't played his greatest football either the past couple weeks. If you didn't know, Kel Witherspoon, broken clavicle, he's going to be out in a minute. Darius Williams is also there. Quentin Lake is their nickel backer with Cam Kitchens and Cam Curl rounding out the secondary as well. Josh Wallace, you could see get out there a little bit as well to boot. And also, again, we look at the rest of this team. Joshua Carty is their kicker. Ethan Evans is their punter. Xavier Smith, Jordan Whittington are their returners with Alex Ward at long snapper. With all that said, if I was going to tell you to watch this game, I'd tell you not to. No, I'm joking. I think this is a decent game. The rivalry, again, if both these teams are healthy, it is definitely a more entertaining matchup than I think it will be. But the fact that, again, the Niners are so battered with injuries and the Rams are just a better team to start out with really just doesn't give me the greatest vibe to this game. And even last year when both, not even then. Like, it's kind of hard to describe because, like, the Niners haven't been healthy, really fully healthy when they played a Rams team that has been, like, again, really sought after as a really high caliber team. Again, really ever since that 2021 game where they played the NFC Championship as well as that desperation Week 18 game they had. They haven't really been able to play that high level of football since then. So it's kind of hard for me to put it higher than this. But again, overall, both these teams, this should be a decent game. But at the same time, the Rams are, again, a lot more healthy than the Niners right now. For that reason, I will be picking the Rams. And again, in their first week of pick 'em. Last week we went 10-5, which isn't terrible. But again, the tie kind of screwed us over with the Packers game. Not really, because they actually would have lost. So I kind of got lucky there with the Cowboys. But anyway, the Rams should win this game. I wouldn't say pretty easily, but this should be a game, again, they take care of business just because of the fact that, again, I understand it's a division battle, but this is a Niners team that is just not healthy whatsoever. The only thing they have an advantage, they didn't have to face CMC much at all last year, so that, again, I guess is in their favor. But, again, unless CMC runs all over them, I don't see how they don't win this one by at least 2 touchdowns. I'm going to say they win this one 31-17, and their offense is good on third down this game. So, again, a little bit of a difference. With all that said, though, let's get into our college football Week 6 picks. All right, now moving over to my Week 6 college football picks. Last week I went 5-5, so just not very good. But still, again, the confidence, don't worry about all those points things. I'll worry about that later. Here are my Week 6 college football picks. Again, if you have not seen past Thursday Night Football previews, I do go through the college football games that are in this kind of like the most competitive games, and I do pick these games. Again, it'll definitely get a lot more interesting as the season goes along. We had a really nice Week 5 in terms of games. This week, not so much. First one we'll be talking about, though, our picking is Iowa State versus Cincinnati. Iowa State is now 5-0 at this point. Cincinnati isn't a bad team, but offensively, they're just not really there, even though Brandon Sorsby, their quarterback, is very talented. I don't see how this defense is really going to hold up completely against Iowa State, but I really like Cincinnati in this matchup just because of the fact that I think that their offense will be able to keep pace with Iowa State's. And that's just not a defense I looked at is really like vaunting it all. So, again, I think that could help me a big trial for Iowa State. But, again, they should be able to put up some points. But I'm going to take Cincinnati in a little bit of an upset there. Kansas State, Baylor. I'm taking Baylor. Kansas State's a disaster. They didn't play that. They actually had, I think, their best game of the season last week, if I'm not mistaken. Because they won. We can get to them. Yeah, they beat UCF. Again, that was a bad pick on my part. But, yeah, they had their best game of the season last week. Very complete. Avery Johnson actually played well. But Baylor is a much better team, and they're much more better coached. And I think they'll just be able to win this one. I don't really nothing much else to it. All right, now we move on to the game of the week, technically. Again, this is where College Game Day is going. We have Vandy, the Nerds, against Bama. Vanderbilt, I can't tell you the last time I've ever seen, again, of them at 5-0. And, again, we look back even like 2 or 3 years ago. It would have been just absolute blasphemy to think that a Vanderbilt-Bama game in Tuscaloosa would ever be considered for game day, which is absolutely insane. But, hey, that's how this game is. I wouldn't be surprised if Vandy won, but since it is in Tuscaloosa, I can't see them losing this game, to be honest with you guys. It's just not going to happen. I expect it to be a decent game, though. I don't think it'll be like some absolute embarrassment, but I don't expect the Nerds to come in here and put up anything special. All right, Texas and Florida. The Swamp definitely makes things interesting. I don't think I think Florida actually has a pretty talented defense, which a lot of people don't really like that statement, but I think it is true. Alec Manning, I don't think he's a very good quarterback right now. It's very forcing things. They've had 3 straight cupcakes. I'm really not liking Texas in this matchup, but Florida's, again, DJ Lagway can't help himself, again, with all those turnovers he's creating. So I'm going to see Texas win this one in a really ugly one. Virginia versus Louisville. Give me Virginia. I don't expect this game to really go this way, but I just like Virginia's vibes right now. And honestly, I couldn't give a rat's what about who actually wins this game. So give me Virginia in this one. Washington versus Maryland. Maryland is undefeated, but they're not good. So I'm going to pick Washington. Again, they didn't play terrible against Ohio State. Against their offense got shut down, as you might expect them to against the number one team in the country. That's snapped their 22-game home winning streak. So give me Washington. They're a pretty decent team. They have, again, good things going for them. But yeah, Maryland is just, they're not very good. Wyoming, UNLV. UNLV is going to win this one. UNLV doesn't play many good teams throughout the season, so again, that's part of the reason they also have an inflated record. But they are a well-coached team. They run a very, very tight ship, and they really don't make too many mistakes. And I think that's, again, for a Wyoming team that, again, they do get upset sometimes, but they're not a team that's going to consistently manufacture offense. And again, especially against that UNLV defense, I think is one of the more talented ones they've had in a while. I think that'll be a big trouble for them. Miami versus Florida State. Give me Florida State in this one, guys. This is gonna be the game I'm gonna be watching because I won't be able to watch it. But still, this is the game that, again, if I was gonna look at all week, this would be the one I'd want to look at. Miami, again, very talented team. Obviously, Carson Beck technically, I guess, the highest favorite at this point. They're the best team in the ACC. They're playing against Florida State, who had an absolutely horrific, not really, a bad upset against Virginia last week on the road, but I expect Florida State to bounce back here and play very, very good in front of the home crowd, and just, again, big time upset over Miami. Yeah, give me Kansas over UCF. They have Jalen Daniels. Again, UCF didn't play well last week. I don't think they're the most talented, despite Scott Frost. I think still giving them a little bit more than you might think, but give me Kansas. Duke's very good. I understand, again, they haven't played great overall this season, but again, Kyle just played so bad last game. Give me Duke in this one. Total points. What do you want to give a score for this one? We'll say Alabama wins, what are we going to say, 37-25. So what is that? 37-25. That's like 62 points, if I'm not mistaken. So 62 points with that. That is all I got for you guys there. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed these college football games. I will have more as we get closer. Also, Thursday Night Football recap after the game tomorrow. And yeah, here's again that crazy play that was part of that Rams-Niners game last year in SoFi.
Position, in fact, today at the 45. Another play fake. Another deep throw. Looking for Tutu. Oh! Down inside the 5. '50-yard connection to Tutu Atwell.
Are you kidding me? Tutu Atwell.